Hey guys, Coach Ryan here. This video is actually just to reinforce what hitters think about and what they actually do aren't always exactly the same. Matter of fact, they're almost never the same. So what you want to watch is the left. This is Kris Bryant describing what he does. He talks about getting his barrel on plane with the ball early. So he shows himself getting the barrel down behind him early. And then, matter of fact, you're going to see A-Rod step in here and kind of measure that off. So if you see the position that Bryant's in, his barrel down early. So he's talking about what he thinks about. Okay, and that's the really thing that everybody needs to understand, because what we think about and what we do are not always the same. So if you look at Kris Bryant demonstrating and A-Rod kind of going through there, okay, this is where you get to. But now look at the video on the right. When he starts to rotate there, you're going to notice that at this point in time, now he's rotated his chest angled at least towards first base, belly button angled towards first base. And what do we notice? His barrel actually is much higher than the knob of the bat. So his barrel is definitely above his hands at this moment in time, where the illustration here, what he's trying to show you to back that up, is he gets here early. Okay, so for example, so if I'm at home watching this and I try to copy this, what is early? Or does this actually happen, or is this what he thinks about what happens? So now you get A-Rod comes in here, and then he talks about this is, A-Rod puts the bat here, and it says, this is what we used to think about. And what he did was he put his bat in a position, basically in a sense saying, we used to think about keeping the barrel above the hands or above the ball. But in a sense, if you look at where Kris Bryant is right now, that's a lot closer to what he looks like right here. So it may not be what he thinks about. So if we watch this swing of Bryant now going through it, you could see the angle of his bat at that point as he rotates. And if you compare the end of the bat or the barrel of the bat to the knob of the bat, you clearly see the barrel is above his hands. And at this point in time, still the barrel is above the hands of the bat, or above the knob of the bat. And he continues to go here, and even right here, his barrel is actually still a little bit higher than the knob of the bat. It's not until now does that barrel start to get even, or maybe a tad bit below. But at this point in time, his hips have cleared. He's close to hitting the ball at this point in time, and then, of course, going into contact. So my point is, if this could easily be mistaken for take the barrel of the bat and go this way towards the catcher, and that's not what he does, because when he rotates, if you watch this closely, that's a tight rotation. So if I draw a line right back there, if you watch as he rotates, he's very tight there. He's not running into that line like there was a wall behind him. But a lot of people misunderstand this concept, and they start trying to lay the barrel back. And that's not at all what happens. Matter of fact, the barrel needs, it's critical for the barrel to stay above the hands in order to get the bat more on plane with the ball. I've been saying this for years. A big key to getting the ball actually into the air and hitting balls off the ground is the angle of the bat, how it settles in after stride and as you start to turn. And if the barrel stays up and in, then you got a better shot at getting the barrel into the right hitting area before and well before contact. So again, what we do and what we think about is really important. So I'm not saying at all Kris Bryant should change what he thinks about, because what he thinks about gets him to do what he does right here. And it's exactly what he should care about is the result. What is confusing if you're an average parent, kid at home watching this, you start off by Kris Bryant saying, well, I dropped my bat into the area really early. Okay, which everybody at home, common sense says, well, that seems kind of odd, right? That's not what happens. And then A-Rod talks about, okay, this is how you get on plane, and this is how you get the ball in the air. But then A-Rod picks the bat up and goes, well, this is what we used to do. Well, it's not what you used to do. It's what he does as well, except he's explaining it different. His approach, his mindset to get to do the same thing is completely different. If you speak to some of the greatest hitters in the game, you're going to hear some hitters talk about getting on plane early and getting the ball in the air, hitting the bottom of the ball, and you'll hear others, some of the great hitters, talking about thinking about being on top of the ball. It's about what tricks you into the best success.